Tennessee Titans fans, it is August 20th, 2025, and big news coming out of Nashville today. Finally, the dam has broke, and L'Jarius Sneed has been activated to return to practice. He passed his physical, and finally, with 2.5 weeks to go until the regular season, L'Jarius Sneed is back out on the practice field. Check out this post from Ian Rappaport, who said, big news for the Titans. Cornerback L'Jarius Sneed has passed his physical and will participate in practice in a limited capacity today. Coach Brian Callahan had said he was hopeful Sneed would come off PUP as he dealt with a knee injury, and today is the day. And in fact, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see Teron Davenport showing L'Jarius Sneed out on the practice field, doing some drills right there. First little bit we've seen of Sneed in any capacity. Here's the legend Jim Wyatt posting L'Jarius Sneed doing some drills today as well, looking like he's, dare I say, healthy in that capacity. And I mean, obviously he's not going to play in the preseason game Friday, but L'Jarius Sneed is back. Now, how long will he be back? Can he stay healthy? According to L'Jarius Sneed today, he said his quad injury, which is what really affected him last season and kept him out for the remainder of the season, he says the quad is no longer an issue. The quad is a non-factor. The quad is nothing. The quad's all healed. The knee injury is what has kept him out of training camp and all of the preseason stuff because he had, a minor knee operation to fix some things, but that's what kept him out, and now that's healed up and now he's ready to go. L'Jarius Sneed says that when the lights are on bright in week 1, you're going to see prime L'Jarius Sneed. And I hope he's telling the truth, and I hope that quote doesn't come back to bite him or us. But, I think that I've been aggravated. You've been aggravated at the L'Jarius Sneed experiment. He got hurt in week 5, right, last year and never came back. This year, this summer, he's pretty much been a ghost. He gets to training camp, but really doesn't get to training camp. And we all started to really doubt that, this is going to be anything. The L'Jarius Sneed experiment might be over before it really even got started. But the good news is today it looks like they're at least going to give this thing a try. And Sneed's going to give this thing a try and try to be ready for week 1. I think that he's needed. I think that on a defense that tends to be very young with guys like T'Vondre Sweat, which he needs to get back out there too. He got his tonsils taken out. He hasn't practiced since. He needs the reps. We need to get T'Vondre Sweat back on the field. Kevin Winston's another one. I mean, he hadn't taken any reps in a couple weeks, the rookie. We need to get him in there. But when I look at those two, Cedric Gray, James Williams, Femio Ladejo, Jarvis Brownlee, it tends to be a young defense. And what that means is you need good veteran players everywhere you can get them. And L'Jarius Sneed, on paper, should be one of the best, most experienced players on this team. The Titans secondary especially needs him. They have, what did me and Tyler Rowland say on the podcast the other week? A need for Sneed. They have the need for Sneed. They do. They need him. Jarvis Brownlee's young. Roger McCreary mostly plays in the slot. Marcus Harris is a 6th-round rookie. Darrell Baker was picked up on waivers before the season last year. It's kind of tough going, even with Sneed. If you were to have to go without him, it would be devastating. So I'm encouraged that Sneed has been cleared and that he's back out there because this defense is going to need him to be a leader and play well. And this defense is going to need him to stay healthy. And that's something that I'm worried about. Can L'Jarius Sneed stay on the field? Can L'Jarius Sneed stay on the field and play well? And let me tell you another thing I'm also concerned about. The last time we saw L'Jarius Sneed on the field for the Titans, he was getting burned by Michael Pittman. He was getting mossed by Michael Pittman in the first game against the Colts last year. So not only do I want you to stay healthy, but I want him to play well. I want him to play like the L'Jarius Sneed from Kansas City. Okay? Getting fired up talking about this. So Sneed's back out there. He says he's going to be prime L'Jarius Sneed by week 1, and he better be telling the truth because this defense and this Titans team desperately needs him. We cannot, as much as I believe in Jarvis Brownlee, I don't want Jarvis Brownlee having to go out there as the number 1 corner. He needs to learn from Sneed. He needs to be around Sneed. He needs to watch L'Jarius Sneed do his thing, and that's something else you got to factor in here. It's August 20th. We're 2.5 weeks away from the season starting. for Tennessee, week 1. What is L'Jarius Sneed's conditioning like? I'm sure he's an NFL football player, so I'm sure he's in good shape, but is he in game shape? How far behind is he in terms of conditioning? In terms of full speed contact, whatever, L'Jarius Sneed hasn't had any of that up until this point. How's he going to hold up when the pads start popping? You know, he's been in the league a while. I don't want to disrespect him, but there's no substitute for being out there on the field and hitting people and getting hit. And L'Jarius Sneed hasn't had any of that yet. And we're 2.5 weeks out, not to mention all of these young defensive players that haven't been on the field with him yet. With 2.5 weeks till the regular season, they don't know. They haven't had him out there. That team chemistry that we've seen kind of building, L'Jarius Sneed really hasn't been a part of that yet because he hasn't really been out there. So hopefully L'Jarius Sneed, being a professional, can catch up and get to where he needs to get to so that he can get in there week 1. Yesterday, Brian Callahan said he was hopeful that L'Jarius Sneed would be ready for the Broncos game in week 1. I'm hopeful too because they're going to need him, but I'm hopeful that L'Jarius Sneed will stay ready in week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and so on, because the depth in the secondary is such that we cannot have L'Jarius Sneed missing a bunch of time. But we'll see. One last thing I'll say about Sneed, and then we'll call it a day. According to Paul Kuharsky, a grand jury is going to be meeting to talk about some of L'Jarius Sneed's off-the-field issues. L'Jarius Sneed has run into some legal trouble over the course of the offseason, and apparently, according to Paul Kuharsky, it's going to a grand jury. So even more uncertainty surrounding L'Jarius Sneed as the season approaches. Now, Sneed, of course, says that his off-the-field legal stuff is a non-factor. It's not an issue. It's going to be fine. I mean, what else is he going to say? But that's something to keep an eye on, too, that there's some legal stuff going on with L'Jarius Sneed that's going to a grand jury. I'm not saying, just that's stuff to keep an eye on, too. The injuries, the health, the playing ability, which last time we saw him, he was getting mossed by Michael Pittman, and then the legal stuff. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding L'Jarius Sneed, and I don't like that. I want him to come in, play well, and be consistent and healthy and stay out of legal trouble and be cleared in that regard for multiple reasons. So just a lot going on with L'Jarius Sneed today, which is better than what's been going on, which has been nothing. Let me know if you think that the Titans' need for Sneed will pay off. Let me know if you think the Titans' need for Sneed will be met with Sneed, or will they just get let down? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. The Titans take on the Vikings Friday night, Nissan Stadium in Nashville. I'll be watching. I know you will too. God bless you, everybody. Tighten up.